Are we ready to go, Charlie? Are you going to join me for Flosstube today? Looks like Charlie's going to join us. Hi friends and fellow creatives. Hello, I'm Margaret. This is Maggie Lou Stitches, where I talk about cross stitch mostly and any other things that come up about creativity. But today I do want to talk about cross stitch. I've got more that has happened since last time as far as my cross stitch projects, and I just want to continue the timeline that I started in episode 1 and that I'm still going through. We finished off last time with this guy and I decided to hang him there. I like my pussycat in a boat that normally sits there, but I thought major finished projects should get a little look in. Ta-da! So that was the guy I talked about last time that I finished in 1999. So he's hanging in pride of place now. And I thought I'd continue that timeline and show you the cross stitch that I did after that, which then leads us to a little bit of a gap in cross stitch because I stopped cross stitching for about 20 years. So there's not much to show you after that. Except there are other things to show you because then I want to come up to current day as well. It's January 2025 now. Just had Christmas and the New Year, so I want to talk about cross-stitching plans and cross-stitching changes. So anyway, let's get on and talk about it. So first, let me go back to after that project. That project, I should name it, that project being the project that was inspired by Beth Russell's Jasmine from her Needlepoint book. And that includes the write-up of Sonnet 29 by William Shakespeare, which I love. Okay, so after that, I clearly wanted to do a smaller project because this is what I chose and it's very sweet. And you know, I was looking at it this morning. It's called Child of Spring. And when I was looking at it, I thought, oh, what a nostalgic name, Child of Spring. And I thought, oh, was this supposed to be a birth sampler? Because I certainly haven't done it as a birth sampler. And so I was looking through it a little bit more. It's original design by Thea Dueck for the Victorian sampler, and it's 1993 pattern. And yes, it does say there, this delicate stitchery is meant as a companion piece to my white Christmas sampler. It is primarily white on white with soft touches of spring colour. It's also easily changed into a birth sampler. Please see instructions for adding dates and names. Now, what I find interesting about that is I must have done this in about 2001, 2002, and I gave birth to my daughter in 2003 on the first day of spring, 1st of September 2003. She is a child of spring, but I never did this as a sampler. I guess I just never really thought, I never connected the child of spring thing. Anyway, I did that. I've had it framed up and hanging for years. Here's the finished piece. Yeah, there's not much to say about it. It is delicate. It has beautiful pinks and blues. I actually don't know if the delicate colours are showing up there. It's hard to know how it comes up. But in real life, hanging in my hallway, I look at it often. This was the first time I had done specialty stitches, hardanger, beading, things like that, and I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed doing this. It was great doing something like this after that very repetitive and big project. This was really fun. I really enjoyed it. And so my plan was then to do the other pieces. She's got winter, autumn, Christmas, as you heard, summer. And I thought, oh, I'm going to do them all. And then I got on a big knitting bug, and for the next 20 years that I didn't touch cross stitch again for a while. So that's sort of it for my finished objects from my past cross stitch life. So let's get straight to now, because I do have a finish to show you, which I'm very excited about. And that is, of course, my berries. Ta-da! Here she is. She's all finished. I even ironed her for her very first showing. Except it's all wrinkly down the corner, but never mind. So here it is. And I love it and cannot wait to get it framed. I cannot wait to get it framed. Well, sort of an interesting by story about the framing. In my first episode, I showed some magpies that I made from Nadine Dueck art and cross stitch, and I sent it to my brother this last month for him to have, because he's a Collingwood supporter and magpies are their Collingwood animal, and he just framed it himself. I never frame myself. I never do the framing myself. I always go and get my things framed. And I don't know, watching him, it was so easy, and it's expensive to get things framed, although having said that, I really do respect and admire their craft. Framers do such a good job that I sort of don't begrudge it most of the time, but everything's getting so expensive that I started to think, should I try framing this myself? I mean, I know I can. It is an odd size. Anyway, stay tuned for what I decide to do on that one, because I'll probably just go and get it framed, because I like to do that. So that's my berries. I'm very happy with that, and oh gosh, I enjoyed every minute of it. Really enjoyed stitching that one. One of the other things that I learned, watching so many floss tubes, and many floss tubers talk about how enabling it is, and it is. I'm watching all of these others going, I want to do that, I want to do that, I want to do that. I am a monogamous stitcher, but like I've said before, it's not a rule, and so I started thinking about starting multiple projects, which is fine, I can do that, but I very quickly get overwhelmed, and at the end of berries, when I put it aside and I've got all these ideas for other cross stitch, I really notice something about myself, and that is, in that moment when that's finished and I haven't got another one going, I really enjoy that space. I really enjoy that space, because it allows me to check in and just go, well, what do I feel like now? Not what am I obligated to do, what have I planned to do, what did I feel like doing next a week ago? But right now that I've got nothing in the hoop, no project going, what do I feel like doing? And I really enjoy that space. And I think that's one of the reasons I enjoy just having one project at a time, because when it's finished, it's like, who am I now? I'm a different person than I was when I started this. Cross stitch, who am I now? Which way do I want to go? However, if you have been watching, you know, I had already decided that I was going to start Little Garden, a Carolyn Manning design. And so I thought about it, and I thought, yeah, either way, I still want to do that. I'm happy to go to that next. But it did, just that moment of appreciation of that empty space between project, it just gave me an appreciation for how I do work a little bit and what's nice. So it does help me temper the temptation to just have lots of projects going and have a plan, because I'm just like, chill, just do one, see how you feel when you finish it. Anyway, having said that, I did start Little Garden, and I'm really enjoying it actually, although it's so different after berries. Oh, it's so different. I reckon I'm not quite a quarter done, but look, yeah, look how pretty. I'm very happy with that. I'm really enjoying it. There's a few things to note as I stitch on this. One thing is, it's nearly impossible for me to avoid stitching in symmetry. You know, like I just feel like I want to get, even as I'm stitching, I want to complete this bit first before I move up into this quarter or down to this quarter. But even if I finish this quarter, I'll probably come down and do this next. I don't know. It's just interesting. You don't have to stitch in symmetry at all. I could have started top left corner and just gone across and down, but I started in the center, sort of blooming out, working in symmetry, and that's just been really enjoyable. Except there's times, like I just did this bit last night, and I think, yeah, I did all of this last night. Before I did that, it was looking out of balance, and it bothered me. I was like, don't let it bother you, it's a work in progress. But anyway, so that's my little garden. I'm enjoying it immensely. It is different after working on berries, mostly just getting used to working 2/2 on linen versus Ada, basically. Anyway, it just took me a while to get my eye into the difference between Ada and linen. I enjoy both. And anyway, that's all. So that's where I'm at with this. I'm really enjoying that. But in other project news, at Christmas, we don't really do presents very much. But we always try to think of something a bit creative and something a little bit different to do for Christmas, to celebrate it and to give gifts if we can in the family. And by family, I'm talking about my smaller central family, me, my husband and my 2 kids. And so we talked about it this year and sort of talked about, is there anything anybody wants, or have you got any ideas for something that would be fun for gifts? And I was having a good think about if there's anything I'd really like. And I was thinking, well, is there anything cross-stitch related that I like? And then I came up with this wonderful idea that I've really enjoyed. I enjoyed proposing and I enjoyed how it was executed. And that is, I asked each of my husband and my daughter and my son to go to the internet and look at cross-stitch patterns and choose one that if I did it for them, they would just love. And I said, there are no restrictions. It can be as small as a bookmark or as big as a poster. It can be anything. The first thing my son Noah asked is, what if it's got swearing in it? He's 19. And which made me laugh. And I said, you'll enjoy looking at subversive cross stitches. There's plenty there. And I said, yep, no limits. I don't care. If it's something that you see that makes you go like, that would be so great. That would be cool. I'd love that. I said, don't buy it because I'm not committing to anything until I still freedom of choice. I might see it and just go, oh, that would be a nightmare, or, oh God, that's so ugly. But either way, that's what you can give me for my Christmas gift this year, is show me a cross stitch that if I stitched it for you, you would like it, and present it in your own way. Just walk up to me with the iPad if you like and go, this one. And I don't care where it's from or anything. So I was very surprised at how excited I was coming up to Christmas morning to wait and see, because my family don't weigh in on my cross stitches. They understand it's my hobby. I'm doing it. They like what I do, but they don't, they're just like, nice, nice mum, that's all, So I just couldn't wait to see what they came up with. So let me show you what they did come up with. It was so lovely. The first thing is my husband Matthew, always does his gift giving very well. So he put it in a little envelope and he decorated a card for me, and he Zentangled the front of the card. And Zentangle is still something I'm going to talk about probably in my next episode, actually, because that kind of follows the timeline that I'm following. And after I finished that cross stitch and got into knitting, I also got into Zentangling. It was about 10 years later, and so did Matthew. So anyway, I opened up this present, saw that he'd made this lovely card for me, and on the inside is this stained glass butterfly. Now, what was so great about this is I was like, oh, do you love this? And he said, yeah. He said, I'm really sorry, I've picked one that's going to be really hard and really big. It's going to take you forever. It's 100 colours. And I said, yeah, no problem. I know exactly. I said, did you find this on Etsy? And he said, no, I didn't. And he showed me some of the website, because it's in my favourites in Etsy. And he didn't know that. He didn't know that I've already favorited this. He found it on the internet individually, independently, and he just said, I love it. If you did that, I would be so happy. He said, I think that's beautiful. And I was just like, oh. Now, I haven't done any full coverage cross stitches yet, and I'm dying to do one. I know it'll take forever. I've got other patterns that I've earmarked for being my first one, but he just pushed this one to the front of the queue. I'll have to put up the details of what it's called and everything here, but isn't it lovely? So didn't he win? Yes, he did. But then came Gillian. Oh my goodness, I was so impressed with her pick. She didn't give me anything to show me, which was fine. That was not part of the thing. But she got the iPad and she showed me this. It's by Ink Circles. Now, I was impressed with that. I was like, you found ink circles. Good on you. Because I just didn't know if someone new to cross stitch just did an internet search on cross stitch, like where it would take them. And I did say to them, if you need help, if you're just not finding anything that's inspiring, I said, let me take you to some really good websites, you know. But none of them requested that. Anyway, Jelly found this one on Ink Circles. And the reason I love this so much, which I have touched on before, but now I get to talk about more because it is related to cross stitch. Jelly and I share an absolute love of K-pop together. Music, full spectrum, but mostly K-pop. And she was saying, look at this project. The idea is you can make these little albums and put them on magnets and like put it into the iPod that is stitched there, just visually, you know. And she said, I thought we could design 10 little K-pop album covers of our favorite albums and make that part of the project. Oh, yes, we can. Yes, we can. I love that project. I love it. Oh my goodness. That was two, like, hit the ball out of the park presents. That just made me so happy. Good finds, loved them. And then it came to Noah and he said, I haven't found one yet. I was like, oh, well, okay, it's all right because, you know, I've got two here that thrill me. Charlie's just joined us. This is my girl, Charlie. Oh, hi, Charlie. This is Charlie. She'll probably get cranky at me in a minute. Oh, maybe she won't. Charlie does tend to get very cranky. If I move the wrong way, when she deigns to sit on me, she will lash out. So let's see how that goes. You might get some entertainment with a cranky cat. She's settling on my lap. I think it's going to be okay. I think we're okay, people. Oh, it does affect my moving, but I don't think I have to get anything else. Okay, Charlie, kind of good timing. So yes, so 2 out of 3 cross-stitch projects for Christmas, and I'm so happy with those. The other exciting thing is, I remember saying in my last episode, I was talking about the shoulder pain that I'd be getting and trying to find a new cross-stitch setup for myself. A different chair, a different position, a different place. And at the end of last year, I've been looking around my home, trying to figure out how to re-Tetris furniture and to find a good spot. And I just couldn't get anywhere with it. And I finally said to Matthew, like, can you help me figure this out? I want a really good spot for stitching that is just set up all the time. And be careful what you wish for, because he did come up with a really good idea. But our only storage in this house is via a big cupboard that is in our office. It's a freestanding cupboard from IKEA. And he said, well, what about we get rid of this cupboard in the office and we repurpose the room? We keep it as an office, but we put in a smaller desk for the computer and we get more space for you to have a really good stitch setup. I said, that's a great idea, but we need that cupboard. It's got everything in it, from all of my cross-stitch and knitting supplies to sewing supplies to, he's got lots of vintage BMX magazine collections, skateboard deck collections, home finance documents. Like, it's our storage. And I was like, where's it gonna go? It's like, I don't know, let's find out. He ended up actually deconstructing it and reconstructing it in the shed. And we went through the cupboard and cleared it out and got rid of lots of things. And so half of the cupboard is now for his shed stuff and half of it still has everything that was in it, but it's been cleaned out and sorted up, which is great. But that's what we were doing sort of New Year's Eve, New Year's Day. And doing that, it just puts everything into disarray. The whole house just had stuff from that cupboard everywhere. And then of course when the cupboards moved, the wall behind it is quite damaged and needs, the paintwork is very damaged. And so now the room needs painting. But actually, it's just, while things are in disarray, it's awful. As it's coming along, so by now we've picked a colour, we're about to get it painted, I'm about to choose a new chair, and it's coming along beautifully. And like, I stitch in there now, still I just wheel over the office chair, and it's actually really good. So I'm going to buy, well, I don't know what I'm going to buy yet. I'm going to look at all sorts of different options. But it's just very exciting to be having this new stitchy setup that's going to be really complete. It's going to be really schmicko is what it's going to be. And then I'm going to have new projects, because I'm going to start the butterfly. I'm going to have my first full coverage. Whether I remain a monogamous stitcher when I'm doing a full coverage, I don't know, because they take a long time, and maybe I'll be like, I need some variety rather than just this, or whether that will be all I need. But I do want to do the ink circles one at the same time. I want to do them both. Oh. Which then flies in the face of that whole thing of like, finish one and enjoy that empty space and see what you feel like. And that's the quandary, isn't it? Fill the space with projects, just have one and keep some empty space. We shall see. We'll see what I go with. But anyway, that's it. That's my update for today. I just wanted to say hello and show you my finished berries, show you what I've been up to, show you my new projects. And that's my first Flosstube for 2025. I've been enjoying this a lot, and I really appreciate everybody who spends time with me, who comes along, comments on my projects, shares themselves with me as much as I'm sharing myself with you here. So thank you for watching till I come back next time and show you more progress and new projects from my second stage of stitching that started in about 2019, something like that. I've got more projects to show. Anyway, thank you. Go enjoy your stitching till I see you next time. Bye.